everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining me again for another video. Today, I wanted to just have a conversation, just talk about some stuff that I think we all might be able to relate to in some way or another. When we were all children, and granted we were all children at different times, I assume, we would watch animated films intended for us, but sometimes there would be scenes or moments in those movies that just stayed with us for life. Many people, when they watched Bambi, for example, were traumatized and scarred whenever Bambi's mom got shot. Or maybe that scene in The Lion King when Mufasa gets killed and Simba's gently nudging the corpse of his father. You know, things like that. So I wanted to take a look at the Ask Reddit subreddit with the title, "What Animated Film Traumatized You as a Child?" and just see what all is there. For me, there was a scene from a movie called James and the Giant Peach. The whole movie actually probably did it. Just the animation style, some of the visuals were very, very creepy for me. I still think about it sometimes, but I want to know what everyone else thought, what traumatized everyone else. So if there's a particular movie in mind that traumatized you as a child, let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to read that and know. But I just want to look to see if there's any similarities between things that traumatized me, maybe things that traumatized others that didn't traumatize me, and maybe something that traumatized you. So let's see what we're working with. This one got a lot of awards. I sincerely believe Brave Little Toaster created a lot of hoarders. I can't believe no one has mentioned the terrifying, emotionally manipulative air conditioner that implodes. I remember seeing Brave Little Toaster, or maybe I saw Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, which I think is the sequel. I don't remember any of it. I want to see if I can find that scene.
Because the master never played with you.
'Cause you're stuck in the wall.
It's back to that stupid static again. I know what goes on in this cottage, and every one of you low-watts is in on it. You think you're better than I am. I'm not an invalid.
Gosh.
I was designed to stick in a wall. I can't help it if the kid was too short to reach my dials. It's my function!
Don't!
Oh my gosh, he killed himself.
I didn't know he'd take it so hard.
Well, he was a jerk anyway.
I don't remember that scene at all. I think I might have watched the Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. I think that's the one I saw. Fox and the Hound still makes me cry if I watch it now. It's been so long since I've seen that too. Only half animated, but the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Christopher Lloyd gets run over by the steamroller. I do remember that scene. I remember it freaking me out too. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. That's pretty creepy too, just that alone.
Holy smoke, he's a tomb! Surprise!
The black smoke from Fern Gully always scared me. Tim Curry is a master. I don't remember that one either. That might have been before my time, but let's see what all the fuss is about.
I do believe we are destined to be soulmates.
Yeah, you can recognize Tim Curry's voice anywhere. Some great animation though.
That's rather nice.
Climb up above.
Tim Curry got me simping over pollution. I doubt that's the scene that was traumatizing though. It could be wrong. It might be this one.
How many times a day I gotta threaten your life?
I don't think I've ever actually seen Fern Gully, but this is some pretty good animation. They're combining 2D and 3D. Great music too. This is pretty cool. It's probably some sort of environmentalist type of message, I'm guessing. All right. Well, now I'm just really interested in Fern Gully. I really want to watch it now. I don't know how I'd ever watched it as a kid. I just never did. Oh, wait, yes, I do. I had a very conservative upbringing. The Great Mouse Detective. The bat gave me nightmares for a solid week. This is all true, but this is all kind of like older stuff. Like, you know, my generation, the generation that was before mine. I wonder what's like scaring kids nowadays. Is it like Fortnite or like Slender Man? I don't know. The Land Before Time. Littlefoot's mom dying has instilled a fear in me, a fear born of the fact that one day, someday, my own mom will die. Well, that's really depressing. You know another really depressing factoid about The Land Before Time? The tragic story of Judith Barcy, I think is how you say her name, the young girl who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time. She's the one that would always do the little yep, yep, yep. The story's going that she's working, she's a little girl in Hollywood doing some voice roles, and she was in over 70 commercials and a number of feature films, including Growing Pains, Cheers, Jaws the Revenge, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and of course The Land Before Time. At home, the young girl's father was angry and would repeatedly threaten his family. according to sources who spoke to the LA Times. Judith's mother had previously gone to police accusing her partner of physical and verbal abuse and threats on her life. Judith reportedly told family friends she was afraid to go home because she knew her father wanted to kill her mother. She got referred to go see a child psychologist. The mother was reportedly divorcing her father. Then on Monday, July 25th, Judith missed an appointment. She was last seen riding her bike in the morning. After the bike ride, Joseph Barcy, 55, shot and killed his 48-year-old wife, his 10-year-old daughter, and then himself. Judith would never get to see the final version of The Land Before Time or All Dogs Go to Heaven, which were both released after her death. She had previously said that out of all of her roles, voicing Ducky had been her favorite. On her tombstone, Judith's family memorialized her affinity with Ducky, engraving her signature phrase, "Yep, yep, yep," below Judith's name. So, there's some more depressing news for you guys if you didn't know that. Here's another movie, James and the Giant Peach. I associate it with the start of my perpetual existential dread. Same, relatable. If you haven't seen that movie, it's very, very creepy. I think Jen actually really likes it. A movie called 9. I saw it in theaters when I was 9 years old, and I still have nightmares about it to this day. Not nearly as old as some of the other ones in this list, but still not like new. One of the cool things I remember about 9, one of the only things I remember about it, is that they had a Coheed and Cambria song like associated with the trailer. I always thought was really cool. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Watched it as an adult. That movie was dark. I actually don't remember it very much at all. Drunken dog gets murdered by his business partner, kidnaps already kidnapped girl, forces her to help them get money by stealing and gambling, gets shot with tomatoes in the background meant to look like blood, implied baby mama and prostitute, frightening scene in hell. Yeah, that movie is awesomely dark. There was like this period of time, I feel like, either in the late 80s, early 90s, where you had these kind of more mature animated films. All Dogs Go to Heaven is one of them. There was a movie called Oliver and Company that sort of had a similar feel, I would say. The Black Cauldron, I guess The Brave Little Toaster. Here's another one, not a film, but Courage the Cowardly Dog had a lot of moments. I can attest to that. Courage the Cowardly Dog was probably more of when I was a kid, stuff that I was watching more regularly. There was a moment in Courage the Cowardly Dog that I found out later was a reference to a movie where he's like, "Return the slab or suffer my wrath." That whole thing creeps me out.
Return the slab or suffer my curse.
I mean, even stuff that wasn't supernatural per se. There was like this one where like Eustace's nephew or like a stranger comes to the house and he's like a barber and his whole thing is like shaving people.
And just how I've been naughty.
And he ends up like shaving Muriel and Courage. But the way they did it was just so creepy. Like they were just being like so violated. And
it was a day I'd not forget.
aside from like the more supernatural stuff. Oh, this is a good one. Later again found out it was a reference to The Exorcist, because a lot of stuff in Courage the Cowardly Dog was references to other stuff. Muriel gets like possessed by their mattress. I remember that freaked me out. That always creeped me out for a long time.
Won't you join me?
Yeah, Courage had a lot of really scary stuff in it. When Woody fell into the trash of broken toys and got dragged down, aw.
Ride 'em, cowboy! I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Oh, jeez.
No, Andy! No, Andy, no!
That one's pretty depressing too. There was one from Toy Story 3 where they're all like thrown into the incinerator. I thought that one was pretty horrific.
Go! Where's your kid now, Sheriff? No! No!
Jeez.
What do we do?
Aw. Go out together. This is so depressing. They just like accepted their death. We'll go out together, all of us. One last time. Oh, nice. Monster House, that's another one. There was like this period of time where they were trying, like this was one of the first movies that was starting to use motion capture. It had Mitchell Musso from Hannah Montana at the time. I think it was before he was actually in Hannah Montana. So this is also kind of dating this movie. They would do the motion capture and it was really, really creepy. Mars Needs Moms is another one that kind of had this sort of disturbing just animation in general. And I remember watching Monster House a lot and it being pretty freaky, but also kind of endearing. It was the story of like 3 kids that lived on this neighborhood that had a house that is kind of this typical Mr. What's-His-Face's house. It's haunted. We don't want to go there. Except in the story, the house itself actually is violent and aggressive, but there's still like this really interesting backstory about how the house got that way. It has like the spirit of the man's wife who just wants him to still love her even though she's a house. And there were some pretty funny moments in it too.
If those are the teeth and that's the tongue, then that must be the uvula. So it's a girl house. What?
That's one that I would love to recommend, but I don't think it's for everyone. I remember enjoying it a lot as a kid. Grave of the Fireflies, my God, also one of the best movies I've ever seen. Grave of the Fireflies, I would argue, is not intended for children. It is an anime. It was about Japanese World War II. And basically, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. Absolutely go watch it, but it's definitely one of those that it is fantastic, but my lord, is it depressing. The best movie I never want to see again. That's exactly how I feel about it. Fantastic, beautiful, wonderful story of a brother and his sister just trying to survive Japanese World War II. I'll just leave it at that. Watch it if you get the chance. And make sure that you watch maybe a comedy or something after. The Page Master, I was 4 and I still think about it. Page Master was one I don't really remember watching all that much. Page Master kind of reminds me of that era of like the never-ending story. We don't really get movies like that anymore. I don't know why. Maybe because they traumatize everyone. Spirited Away. Yeah, that one's probably meant more for kids, I guess. My dad brought it home when I was around 7 thinking it was a fairy tale. I made it to Yubaba turning to a bird and then ran away and refused to watch anymore. A lot of people were saying they were scared of No Face and how freaky he was. So yeah, Spirited Away I could definitely see being traumatizing. Toy Story, that scene when the toys do a head transplant, I could see that being terrifying. The Rescuers, that's another one that was kind of in that older period of time. Chicken Run freaks me out so badly. I've always hated claymation films. That surprised me because I actually really liked Chicken Run. When I was a kid, I watched Chicken Run so many times, but there are people that just don't like that style in general, and that's just the style of film is freaky. You know what I haven't seen on here is Coraline. That one was freaky. I don't know if kids watch that or not, but that one was a freaky movie. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Ejected it when they started throwing fruit and hid it behind a bookcase to never be seen again. I did eventually watch it and love it as a teenager when I got really into musicals. Yeah, that whole scene where Quasimodo is like on that spinning thing and they're humiliating him by throwing tomatoes at him, that was pretty rough. I would love to know like what currently, I think the most current thing we saw was Courage the Cowardly Dog. So I would love to know what like kids today are watching that's like traumatizing them. Or perhaps children are so desensitized by music and television that it's just not doing it anymore. I don't know. Again, let me know down in the comments below what might have been traumatizing for you, an animated film when you were growing up. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you want to see more fun stuff like this. Consider joining my Patreon to get early access to select videos as well. And I started memberships. Once a month we do a live stream and you get little icons and special little emojis that only you can use. So that's fun. Do that. As always, I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.